Most Americans think moving abroad is either a fantasy or a sacrifice. But in these 7 cities, $2,500 a month can mean lower rent, private healthcare, walkable neighborhoods, fresh food, and a daily life that feels calmer than what many people are paying twice as much for in the US. The catch? Every city on this list has one hidden downside that can completely change the decision. And honestly, that's what makes this conversation useful. Because the goal isn't to find the cheapest place on earth. The goal is to find a place where your money buys you something emotional, breathing room, less pressure, better healthcare access, a slower morning, a neighborhood where you can walk to dinner without calculating the cost of everything. So today, we're looking at 7 cities where Americans can realistically live better on around $2,500 a month. Some work beautifully for retirees, some are better for remote workers, some are great for couples, and one of them might be the best European lifestyle bargain left, but only if you're very disciplined. Let's start with a city that may be the most practical retirement choice on this entire list. Number 1, Cuenca, Ecuador. Cuenca is not the flashy choice. It's not tropical, it's not a beach fantasy, and it's probably not the city you move to because you want excitement every night. Cuenca is the city you move to when you're tired of high rent, tired of driving everywhere, tired of healthcare bills that make every doctor's visit feel like a financial event, tired of feeling like one unexpected expense could knock your whole month off balance. A realistic monthly budget in Cuenca is about $1,450 to $1,900 for a single person and around $2,000 to $2,500 for a couple. That matters because in Cuenca, $2,500 doesn't feel like survival money. It can feel like margin. A clean apartment might run around $350 to $475 for a 1-bedroom, or $500 to $700 for a 2-bedroom. Utilities and internet are low by US standards. Local transportation can be extremely inexpensive, and routine healthcare, dental work, and private doctor visits can be dramatically cheaper than in the States. But here's the thing most people miss. Cuenca's biggest gift isn't just low cost, it's rhythm. Life there can feel slower, cooler, more walkable, and more grounded. You can build routines around the historic center, river walks, markets, cafes, and regular appointments that don't feel financially terrifying. For retirees and couples, that can be powerful. For remote workers, the time zone works well with the US, and the calmer pace can make work feel less frantic. But Cuenca is not perfect. The city sits at high altitude, the weather is mild, but homes can feel damp and chilly because heating is not always part of daily life the way Americans expect. Sidewalks can be uneven, bureaucracy can be frustrating, and while Cuenca is often considered one of Ecuador's calmer expat cities, Ecuador as a country has real safety concerns in certain areas. So who thrives here? Retirees, couples, walkers, introverts, budget-conscious Americans, and people who want peace more than stimulation. Who struggles? Beach lovers, nightlife seekers, people who refuse to learn Spanish, and anyone who expects life abroad to run with US-style efficiency. The biggest upside is that Cuenca may offer one of the best combinations of affordability, walkability, healthcare access, and expat community in Latin America. The biggest downside is that it can feel quiet, chilly, bureaucratic, and more culturally demanding than YouTube makes it look. But emotionally, Cuenca is the city where $2,500 can feel like breathing room, and that is not a small thing. 2. Mérida, Mexico. Now, Mérida is different. If Cuenca feels like slowing down in the mountains, Mérida feels like trying life abroad without moving to the other side of the world. For Americans who want lower costs, better healthcare access, a strong cultural identity, and easy travel back to the US, Mérida may be one of the softest landings abroad. A realistic monthly budget is about $1,900 to $2,400 for a single person, and around $2,400 to $3,000 for a couple. So right away, we need to be honest. Mérida can work on $2,500, especially for a single person or a careful couple. But it's not the cheapest city on this list, and the reason might surprise you. It's not the food, it's not even the rent, it's comfort. Because in Mérida, heat is not a detail, it is the lifestyle. One-bedroom apartments may run around $500 to $700, and two-bedrooms often land around $750 to $1,100. But utilities can climb fast because air conditioning becomes part of your survival strategy, not a luxury. This is what many cheap Mexico conversations leave out. A city can have affordable rent, but if you need air conditioning constantly, if you take more Ubers because walking feels brutal at 3 p.m., and if you pay more to live in a comfortable neighborhood, the budget changes. Still, Mérida has a lot going for it. It has strong private health care. It has a major expat presence. It has good internet, US-friendly time zones, and enough familiarity that many Americans don't feel completely disoriented. For remote workers, it may be one of the best options on this list because you can keep US work hours without destroying your sleep. For families and couples, the city can feel stable and livable. For retirees, it can work beautifully if heat is not a health issue. But that's the test. Who thrives in Mérida? People who want Mexico, but not maximum chaos. Remote workers, couples, families, Americans who want to stay close enough to visit home easily. Who struggles? Heat-sensitive retirees, people on very tight budgets. Anyone who assumes Mexico is automatically cheap everywhere, and people who don't qualify financially for residency because Mexico's residency requirements can be stricter than many expect. The biggest upside is proximity. You get a real life abroad without feeling cut off from the US. The biggest downside is that the heat can wear you down physically, emotionally, and financially. And the emotional cost question is simple. Does $2,500 buy you freedom here? Or does it buy you a smaller version of your old stress, just in a hotter climate? For the right person, Mérida can feel like an easier doorway into life abroad. But for the wrong person, the weather becomes the thing you didn't take seriously enough. Number 3, Medellín, Colombia. Medellín is the city on this list that can make people feel younger. Not because it's perfect, because it has energy. The mountains, the social life, the cafes, the modern neighborhoods, the sense that people are out living their lives instead of hiding inside expensive homes and expensive cars. For a lot of Americans, especially remote workers, singles, entrepreneurs, and active couples, Medellín offers something that feels hard to buy in the US: momentum. A realistic monthly budget is about $1,750 to $2,300 for a single person, and around $2,300 to $3,000 for a couple. A one-bedroom may run around $600 to $850, while a two-bedroom in the neighborhoods many foreigners want can run closer to $900 to $1,300. So Medellín is still a strong value. But here's where people get caught off guard. Medellín is no longer automatically cheap in the parts of the city Americans talk about most. El Poblado pricing can feel like the gringo version of Colombia. If you want the trendiest neighborhood, the nicest building, the best gym, and the easiest English-speaking life, your costs rise quickly. But if you're thoughtful, Medellín can offer an incredible lifestyle. Healthcare is one of its strongest advantages. Colombia has good medical infrastructure, private clinics, and insurance options that can be far less expensive than US coverage, depending on residency, income, age, and plan access. The climate is another huge reason people fall in love with it. Medellín's eternal spring reputation is not just marketing. Stable, mild weather changes how your body feels. You walk more, you go out more, you socialize more. And that brings us to the biggest upside. Medellín may offer the best social energy on this list, but it also comes with the sharpest safety warning. This is not a place where you move casually and switch off your judgment. Phone theft, petty crime, nightlife risks, dating app robberies, and neighborhood-by-neighborhood safety differences are real. Spanish matters here, not just for convenience, but for awareness. So who thrives in Medellín? Remote workers, active singles, social couples, entrepreneurs, Spanish learners, People who want stimulation and community. Who struggles? Risk-averse retirees, people who party carelessly, people who don't want to learn Spanish, and anyone expecting a sleepy, simple retirement town. The biggest upside is energy. The biggest downside is that safety discipline is non-negotiable. And emotionally, Medellín is interesting because $2,500 doesn't just buy lower costs. It can buy a more alive version of your daily life, but only if you respect the city. Number 4, Chiang Mai, Thailand. Chiang Mai is a city where your money can stretch so far that you start questioning the entire logic of your old life. This is one of the world's classic, affordable lifestyle cities for a reason. A realistic monthly budget is about $1,300 to $1,900 for a single person and around $1,900 to $2,500 for a couple. That means $2,500 can go a long way here. A one-bedroom may cost around $290 to $500. A two-bedroom might land around $450 to $800. Internet is cheap. Food can be excellent and affordable. Private healthcare is strong, and there's a large international community, so you don't feel like you're inventing expat life from scratch. But Chiang Mai is not about luxury in the flashy sense. It's about ease. You can have a calm apartment, good coffee, affordable meals, regular massages, private medical appointments, and a daily rhythm that feels gentle instead of financially punishing. For retirees, that can be life-changing. For remote workers, Chiang Mai has co-working spaces, cafes, reliable internet, and a deep community of people who are also building flexible lives. But there are two words that can change the entire conversation: burning season. Air quality can become a serious issue during agricultural burning periods. For people with asthma, COPD, allergies, heart conditions, or general sensitivity to pollution, this is not a minor inconvenience. It can be the reason Chiang Mai goes from dream city to deal breaker. And there's another issue: the time zone. If your work is based in the US and you need live calls every day, Chiang Mai can wreck your sleep. This works much better for asynchronous work, flexible consulting, online businesses, retirees, or semi-retirees. Who thrives in Chiang Mai? Budget-conscious retirees, remote workers with flexible hours, solo expats, health-conscious people, couples who value calm over status, people who don't need life to look impressive from the outside. Who struggles? People who need clean air year-round, people who hate visa complexity, Americans tied to US business hours, and anyone expecting a beach lifestyle, because Chiang Mai is not that. The biggest upside is lifestyle per dollar. The biggest downside is smoke season. And emotionally, Chiang Mai matters because it can show you how much of your stress was not actually about life. It was about cost. When housing, healthcare, food, and daily services stop consuming so much of your budget, your nervous system may finally come down a level, but only if the air, visas, and time zone actually fit your life. Number 5, Da Nang, Vietnam. Da Nang may be the biggest, wait, what? City on this list, because when Americans imagine a lower cost life abroad, they often picture sacrifice. Then they see Da Nang, modern apartments, a long coastline, mountain views, cafes, good internet, affordable food, a calmer pace than Ho Chi Minh City or Hanoi, and a realistic monthly budget of about $1,200 to $1,800 for a single person, or $1,800 to $2,500 for a couple. That means $2,500 can feel almost unfair here. A one-bedroom may run around $315 to $510. A two-bedroom might be around $600 to $850. Internet can be shockingly inexpensive. Dining out, transportation, and daily services can all be far below US prices. But here's the catch. Da Nang is easy to love short-term. It is harder to make permanent. Vietnam does not offer the same simple retirement residency path that places like Ecuador or Spain may offer. Tourist and e-visa options can make it easy to test the country, but long-term legal stability is the issue. And that matters emotionally, because a place can feel perfect until the visa clock starts ticking. For remote workers, Da Nang can be excellent if your schedule allows it, The internet is good, the cost of living is low, and the lifestyle can feel light and healthy. For couples, especially adventurous couples, it can feel like a massive quality of life upgrade. For retirees, it depends. Routine healthcare and dental care can be affordable, but for more serious medical needs, some expats look to Ho Chi Minh City, Hanoi, Bangkok, or Singapore. Older Americans need to think carefully about insurance and access to advanced care. Safety is one of the name's strongest emotional advantages. Vietnam often feels very safe day to day. The bigger risk is traffic, scooters, and learning how to move through the city without assuming US road logic applies. Who thrives here? Remote workers, adventurous couples, younger retirees, beach walkers, minimalists, people who can handle uncertainty. Who struggles? Americans who need permanent residency, people who want deep English support, people with complex healthcare needs, anyone who wants easy flights back to the US. The biggest upside is coastal quality of life at a remarkably low cost. The biggest downside is long-term residency. And the emotional question is this: do you want the best value for a season of life, or do you need a place you can settle into for the next 10 years? Da Nang may be incredible, but it may not be simple. 6. Georgetown, Penang, Malaysia. Georgetown, Penang is the underrated one. It doesn't always get the same attention as Thailand, Mexico, Portugal, or Spain. But for Americans who want affordability, healthcare, English, good infrastructure, and a relatively comfortable landing in Southeast Asia, Penang deserves a serious look. A realistic monthly budget is about $1,450 to $1,950 for a single person, and around $2,000 to $2,600 for a couple. So for many people, $2,500 is very workable. A one-bedroom may run around $230 to $405. A two-bedroom may be around $450 to $650. Utilities and internet are reasonable. Food is affordable. Transportation is manageable. And private healthcare is one of the biggest reasons Penang stands out. This may be the strongest healthcare plus English combination on the list. That's important because when Americans think about moving abroad, they often focus on rent. But once you're actually living somewhere, healthcare becomes emotional. Can you explain your symptoms? Can you get an appointment? Can you afford the visit? Can you trust the hospital? Can you navigate the system without feeling helpless? Penang answers those questions better than many affordable cities. English is widely used in Malaysia compared with most countries on this list. That doesn't mean everything is effortless, but it does mean daily life can feel less intimidating. And the city has a practical comfort to it, not flashy. Not chaotic in the same way some larger Asian cities can feel. More like, why don't more Americans talk about this? But here's the hidden issue. Malaysia's long-stay visa situation is not as easy as older retirement videos sometimes suggest. The old story of Malaysia as a simple retirement haven has changed. Some long-stay pathways now require significant fixed deposits or property-related commitments, which can put them out of reach for people who have monthly income but not large liquid savings. So who thrives in Penang? Healthcare-focused retirees, couples, practical people, English speakers, food lovers, Americans who want comfort without US prices. Who struggles? People who need cool weather, people who want easy permanent residency, remote workers with daily US meetings, and anyone who wants Southeast Asia prices with zero visa friction. The biggest upside is healthcare, English, and affordability in one package. The biggest downside is that residency can be more capital intensive than people expect. Emotionally, Penang matters because it reduces fear. Fear of healthcare, fear of language, fear of chaos, fear of being too far outside your comfort zone. For the right person, that feeling alone may be worth more than saving an extra few $100s somewhere cheaper. 7. Granada, Spain. Granada is the emotional wild card because it is not the cheapest city here. It is not the easiest city for a couple on $2,500, and it does not offer Southeast Asia-style savings, but it offers something many Americans deeply want, a European life that still feels somewhat attainable. A realistic monthly budget is about $2,100 to $2,500 for a single person and around $2,600 to $3,200 for a couple. So let's be very clear. Granada works best on $2,500 for a single person. For a couple, $2,500 may feel tight unless rent is low, spending is controlled, and healthcare, taxes, and travel are carefully planned. But this city gives you something different from Da Nang, Chiang Mai, or Cuenca. It gives you walkability, safety, public transportation, a slower Mediterranean rhythm, strong healthcare, and the emotional richness of living in Europe without paying Madrid, Barcelona, Paris, or Amsterdam prices. A one-bedroom may run around $700 to $865. A two-bedroom may be around $900 to $1,200. Utilities can be higher than people expect. Private health insurance for visa purposes needs to be budgeted carefully, especially with age. But for many Americans, Granada's value is not about being the cheapest. It's about feeling safe, connected, and culturally alive. You can walk more, you can live with less car dependence, you can have a slower lunch, a real neighborhood, and access to the broader European lifestyle. But nobody really talks about this part. Homes in Granada can feel cold in winter. Americans imagine southern Spain as warm and sunny all the time. Then they discover tile floors, poor insulation, chilly interiors, and buildings that were not designed around American heating expectations. There's also bureaucracy. Spain can be wonderful, but paperwork, taxes, visa rules, appointments, and residency requirements are not casual details. Remote workers also need to understand which visa pathway actually allows work. Who thrives in Granada? Walkers, culture lovers, safety-focused retirees, semi-retirees, singles with stable income, couples with savings, people who want Europe more than maximum savings. Who struggles? Budget-stretched couples, people needing US work hours, non-Spanish speakers, anyone who gets easily frustrated by bureaucracy. The biggest upside is the emotional payoff of Europe at a more attainable price point. The biggest downside is that $2,500 is tight, especially for couples. And emotionally, Granada asks a different question. Do you want your money to stretch the furthest, or do you want it to buy the kind of life you've been imagining for years? Because those are not always the same thing. The bigger lesson. So what do these 7 cities tell us? They tell us that $2,500 a month can still buy a better life abroad, but not everywhere, and not in the same way. In Cuenca, $2,500 buys breathing room. In Mérida, it buys proximity and a softer landing. In Medellín, it buys energy and social possibility. In Chiang Mai, it buys one of the best lifestyle per dollar upgrades in the world. In Da Nang, it buys coastal freedom, at least while the visa situation works. In Penang, it buys healthcare confidence and English-friendly comfort. And in Granada, it buys a disciplined version of the European dream. But here's the real point. Cheap is not enough. The better question is not, can I survive there on $2,500? The better question is, can I build a life there that still feels good 6 months later? Because a city can be affordable and still wrong for you. The air can be wrong, the heat can be wrong, the visa can be wrong, the safety profile can be wrong, the time zone can be wrong, the loneliness can be wrong. And this is why moving abroad should never be treated like a bargain hunt. It's a life design decision. For traditional retirees, I'd say Cuenca may be the best all-around practical choice on this list. For maximum lifestyle upgrade, Chiang Mai is hard to beat. For healthcare and English, Penang may be the quiet winner. For remote workers who want energy, Medellín and Mérida are strong, but for very different personalities. For adventurous people who want coastal value, Da Nang is probably the biggest surprise. And for people whose heart is set on Europe, Granada may be worth the tighter budget. But the right answer depends on what you're actually trying to escape. High rent, healthcare anxiety, loneliness, car dependence, work stress, political noise, feeling like life in the US has become too expensive for the quality you're getting back. That answer matters, because the city that looks best on paper may not be the city that gives you peace. And the city that costs a little more may be the one where you finally feel like yourself again. So I'll leave you with this question. Would you rather choose the safer, steadier city, or the city where your money stretches the furthest? Tell me in the comments which one you'd seriously consider. Cuenca, Mérida, Medellín, Chiang Mai, Da Nang, Penang, or Granada. And before you make assumptions based only on cost, watch the next video on the hidden reasons Americans regret moving abroad, because the expensive mistakes usually happen before you ever pack a suitcase. If you're thinking seriously about life abroad, the cost, the healthcare, the safety, the visas, and what day-to-day life actually feels like, this channel is here to help you make a smarter decision. So if you want more honest, practical videos about living better for less outside the US, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.